Hey there, and welcome. So if you're a Django dev, you know that amazing feeling of getting an app running perfectly on your own computer. But then, the big question hits, right? How do you actually get this thing off your laptop and out into the real world for people to see? Well, that's exactly what we're going to map out today.
Exactly. You've spent all this time, maybe hours, maybe weeks, coding, testing, and it's flawless on localhost. But that's just Basecamp. The real adventure, the real prize, is getting it live so people can actually use it. That can feel like a huge mountain to climb, but don't worry, we're going to tackle it together.
All right, let's get into it. The secret here is to stop thinking of deployment as this one massive, terrifying thing. Instead, picture it as a journey with 3 clear steps. When you break it down like that, the whole thing becomes way less intimidating and, honestly, kind of fun.
And here it is, our roadmap. It's simple. Step 1, deploy. Just get it online. Step 2, secure. We've got to lock it down. And step 3, scale. Make it ready for a crowd. That's it. Deploy, secure, scale. This is literally the path you take to go from a cool side project to a legit, professional-grade application.
Okay, let's kick things off with step 1, your very first deployment. This is that magical moment, you know? Your code is finally leaving the nest, flying from your laptop to its new home on the public internet.
So to make that happen, your code needs a place to live. And that's where a virtual private server, or VPS, comes in. The best way to think about it is like you're getting your own private piece of real estate on the internet. It's not like shared hosting where your noisy neighbors can slow you down. Nope. With a VPS, you're in charge. It's a blank slate. You get total control to set up the whole shebang exactly how your Django app needs it.
And that's really the heart of this first step. It's all about that transition, right? You're moving your code from the cozy, familiar world of your development machine to a live, public production server. This is the absolute foundation. Everything else we're going to talk about builds on this.
And check this out. The source material for this explainer literally kicks off with this promise. It shows you that this isn't some week-long ordeal. Getting your app online can actually be a super quick, straightforward thing, as long as you've got a good guide to follow.
So your app is live. That's awesome. High fives all around. But now it's out there on the wild open internet. And that means the next step isn't just logical, it's absolutely critical. We've got to fortify it.
This is the question you've got to ask yourself, and it should keep you up at night, just a little. An app that isn't secure isn't just a risk, it's a disaster waiting to happen. I mean, we're talking about data leaks, people getting access who shouldn't, and boom, you've lost all the trust of your users. It's no different than building a new house and just leaving the front door wide open.
So securing your server is just like that. It's not one single thing. You're installing all the defenses for your new internet home. You're setting up a firewall, that's your fence. You're managing user permissions, that's who gets a key. And you're setting up SSL/TLS certificates. That's like having a secure private line into your house. It's the digital version of locks, alarms, the works.
And once again, you don't have to figure this out alone. The second part of the source material we're looking at is focused entirely on this. It walks you through exactly what you need to do to lock down that server and make sure your app, and more importantly, your users' data, stays safe.
Okay, on to the final piece of the puzzle. Your app is live, it's secure, fantastic, but now we need to get ready for what we hope happens next, success. What happens when people actually start showing up, like a lot of people? And that brings us to this big word, scalability. Really, all it means is making sure your app can handle the heat. Because think about it, there's nothing worse than your app getting popular and then immediately crashing or slowing to a crawl. You've lost your shot. A truly scalable app works just as well for 10,000 users as it does for 10. That's when you know you're playing in the big leagues.
So how do we pull this off? Well, the source material points us to a dynamic duo, Gunicorn and Redis. Gunicorn is basically the powerhouse server that manages all the incoming requests for your Django app, and Redis is this incredibly fast in-memory tool that helps speed everything up.
Now, these two work together, but they do very different jobs. On one hand, you've got Gunicorn. Think of it as the traffic manager for your app. If a website is a busy store, Gunicorn is like hiring a bunch of extra cashiers to handle the rush. It makes sure tons of people can get served at once without a huge line forming. Then, on the other hand, you have Redis. It's the speed booster. It's like keeping the most popular items right by the counter instead of in the back room. It caches stuff your app needs all the time, so it doesn't have to go digging in the slow database for every little request. The two of them together, They make your app strong and incredibly fast.
Okay, so let's just pause for a second and look back at what we've covered. This whole path we've mapped out. When you follow these steps, you're not just throwing some code online. You're actually engineering a professional, solid, real-deal web application.
I mean, think about the journey here. You've gone from just an idea on your laptop to a real, live application that anyone on the web can see. Then you took that app and turned it into a secure fortress protecting your data. And finally, you tuned that fortress into a high-speed system that's ready for thousands of users. That is the full journey, from A to Z.
And that really brings us to the end of this roadmap. Your app is deployed, it's secure, and it's scalable. You've built a solid foundation. But, as a developer, the learning never really stops, does it? So the big question for you is, what's next? Are you going to dive into automated deployments, get serious about testing, maybe set up some advanced monitoring? The foundation is there. Now, where are you going to build from here?